Hello, Swivel Heads. It's Greg Allison with Green Greg's coming to you live late Friday night. And we're going to be talking about a lot of things here. We're going to be talking about some very shaking things, some baking things, and primarily, we got to talk about what's going on with the banks. Oh my gosh, we have the major, second largest bank failure in U.S. history just occurred. And we've got Russian submarines off our coast. We've got a lot of stuff brewing with China. And I'm going to talk to you about how that stuff can come home and how we're not going to get out of this as easy, even if we don't go nuclear, even if it's a limited war, why it's going to hurt us a lot more right here at home than you can imagine. Things that you hadn't thought about. Why this war or these kind of wars we're looking at with Iran, with China, and even possibly with Russia are going to hit us in ways that no war has ever hit us before, right here at home, and how it's going to wreck this country. Now, it may even already happen anyway, because it's arguable that we are in war by other means right now. So I'm going to update my computer over here so I can keep up with the chat and see how everybody's doing. We're here late. I hope y'all are okay with that. But let me see what's happening in the chat. So, and I'm going to share some screens, and we're going to go through some things, a lot of things here in just a little bit, guys. So, just bear with me 1 minute, one momentum, please. Okay, we got a lot of folks in here. Very good. We got 53 so far. Well, it's not a ton yet, but I expect a lot more will be joining in a moment. Hey, Dan, how you doing? Hello. Who else is in here? Arnold, David Edwards, Duramax, Renee Vester, Ungrateful Peasant, Stray Kitten. Good to see you back, Alcurad. And let's see, Wild Animus, Lady Dagger Status, Beverly Crenshaw, New Days, Bustin' Bass. Is it bass or bass? I suppose that's bass. All right, Beverly. We got Jesse from Northeast Arizona. Arnold. Got Arnold from Alberta. Alberta Arnold. Kind of has an alliteration going there. Mellow Alchemist, Veronica from down the road. All righty. Got a lot of folks in North Alabama hiking. Good to see you. Wild Boyd, Arthur, or Jen from the suburbs. Well, we're going to talk about suburbs. We're going to talk about city. We're going to talk about how that plays in. Pete Zarrett, is that how you doing? JB, all right. So Crazy Farm. Crazy Farm, that's a good place to be on any kind of farm. Beats not right now. Stan, Scooby Snacks, Chris. Okay, guys, let's get rocking here. Kind of people in here, we can start talking topic. So what I am going to do is start sharing screens. Bing, bing, bing. And we're going to talk about these bank failures first. And we're going to talk about China. We're going to talk about the nature of what might be cooking right here. So, and why warfare may be coming and may already be here amongst us. Asymmetrical warfare. I want to say we're in economic warfare at the very least. So we got a lot. Look, I am from North Carolina. A lot of planes search off the coast. Yeah, got my worms yesterday. Good to see that, Gabe. Yeah, most everybody should be getting their worms already from my last shipment. And I may not be shipping again for a while. Don't know how that's going to pan out, guys. Lots of questions still in play. I know where my worms went. You're gonna see this in a little bit. It's kind of a funny twist to a tragic story. Hey, Cha-Cha. All right, so let's go in here and do some exam. I got to hit the share screen. Bing, 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 bing. And here we are. Bing, bing, Biden. Bing, bing, Biden. What's you hiding? What he didn't want us to know is the bank's going to and fro, about to blow. Second largest bank collapse in U.S. history. And Washington Mutual was the biggest. And when did that happen? Oh, that little year called 2008. Remember 2008? Yeah, when they said some banks were too big to fail, when the Congress, against the howling, screaming protest of the American people, voted unanimously, except maybe Ron Paul, to support a major bailout of the banks. Well, these banks have been doing the same stuff ever since 2008 that got him into trouble in 2008. And some people say it's even more so and worse. There are a lot of people predicting this is just the beginnings of woes. It's going to get a lot worse. All right. Cha-cha, passing the love around. The hearts appreciate that. Beverly. Ed Cronin. Radio. Turn your radio on. There you go. Raining worms in China. Oh my gosh, you don't suppose to spill my story already. You days. Yeah, we're gonna get to that in a minute. So Wendy, how you doing? All right, guys. So let's go into it here. The bank that failed was the Silicon Valley Bank. The Silicon Valley Bank that has been underwriting major tech firms, major tech operations, guys. This is tons of ads in here. Shoot, this is one of the biggest financiers of the things that are growing and shaking in this country. Well, guess what? A lot of this stuff is hurting now. Is it because of all the layoffs in the big tech industry? I don't know, guys. What prompted this bank to crash? But let me show you another little story on this. I don't have to decrease this where I can tab over. Turns out that the Silicon Valley Bank chief, look at this, sold $3.6 million in stock days before the bank started. Not only that, there also was another article talking about they transferred quite a bit. They transferred. Yeah, New Days apologizing now. Yeah, of course I knew that. What do you think I was talking about when I knew where my worms had went? You taking my thunder. All right, but it'll still be funny, guys. So, guys, this is catastrophic. A lot of people are predicting bank runs, major bank runs. That this will be the first of many to fall. We don't know what is going to happen here, but guys, this is a scary economic indicator. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and like the article, they're not going to show me nothing here because I wouldn't subscribe to these guys, no way. Bloomberg, forget about it. But I'm just showing you what the headlines are, guys. Y'all know the rest of the story. So, in other news, China, our favorite country, right? China. Now, let me preface this. This ain't nothing about Chinese people. This is about the nation that's run by the CCP and more about the CCP than anything else. China's got some wonderful people. And I'll repeat that in other ways coming up in a little bit. But Taiwan, see, the problem is a lot of times on this platform, when you talk about this country right here, they would claim that it was a matter of RACE. Even though you would also talk about this country and to be defending it. I call them a country, by the way, because they are an independent nation. They're the same people, right? So how is it you can talk in favor of these guys and not these guys, and it was considered to be RACist, if you know what I mean? How in the world did that work? How did they make a determination like that? These people love freedom. If you know anything about me, I love freedom. These guys are the anathema of freedom. And that it kind of rhymes with a whole lot of our world leaders and a whole lot of the so-called leadership, even inside the Beltway. A lot of them kind of have some leanings in these directions, which we're not in favor of. I would hope. Read that Wells Fargo payroll accounts didn't go out today. Yeah, 2 banks are in trouble. Wells Fargo is huge. Silicon Valley Bank is huge. Wells Fargo is beyond huge, guys. So this is scary. Very, very scary right now on the economic side. Get yourselves prepared for bugging out, folks. Exactly. Herds West, young man, says Arnold. Arnold's already in the West, way up in the Northwest. I don't know. He may want to bug out, though. He's in commie Canada, right, with Trudeau. I got to bug out tomorrow. Uh-oh. Are you sure, Stray Kitten? You got something cooking there? All right. Pardon my chair, guys. I've oiled it 6 ways from Sunday, and it's going to squeak because it's the spring. All righty, guys. So China is utterly committed to unification with Taiwan. Yeah, this word unification, it is not always, when it comes to the CCP, It's not always a thing of great beauty. It tend to be quite ugly from the sound of it. Might bug out to Argentina. Oh, there you go. Major flooding in California. That's right. I believe it's one of my tabs, guys. California is being hit hard. We will talk about that shortly. So we're going to talk a little bit about China right now. China wants to get rid of Taiwan because Taiwan is the last legitimate government of China. Bingo. Taiwan is not a renegade government. Taiwan is the Republic of China. It pre-existed the People's Republic of China. The People's Republic of China represents an insurgency that ran the pre-existing government off to the island in exile. Bada bing, bada bang. So there you go, folks. Now, it turns out that China seems to be accelerating their armed force development. They want to make things happen fast. Guys, all the literature we're seeing, oh yeah, some of your California scenes, all the literature we're seeing, all the articles, a lot of them right now are focused on 2025. Oh, there'll be war in 2025 because we're having presidential elections in both Taiwan and the United States next year. So why is it they're not talking about next year? How does election next year equate to war the year after? Guys, I fail to see the connection. Formosa, that's the name of the island, TT. Hey, wild animals, thank you so much. Thank you. I tell you what, I have been in the tight lately. I really appreciate that. I've had a lot of love from you guys last couple live sessions. Wild animals, salute and much appreciation back to you. So, guys, this is really a concerning thing. On Tuesday, Foreign Minister Ging Gang, however you say that name, I don't, you know, my Chinese is non-existent, okay, in terms of my tongue. Although I've dated some Chinese girls, but that don't mean I got any proficiency in the language. Just like I was married to a Kikuyu tribe member from Kenya, and about the only thing I can say is Nakupindi Mabibi Wangu, which means I love my wife. We're divorced, so that didn't work out too well, did it? But dog was Packer. I know a few words, but you know, and Kikuyu, Swahili, English. She was trilingual. Very smart lady. I'll give her that credit. Smart lady. Jason, I will not recommend going to South Central America. Yeah, well, there's some issues, guys. I wouldn't go to Mexico, that's for sure, from what we've seen there, guys. So China calls for more quickly elevating armed forces. Guys, they are getting ready to move. Like I'm saying, you know, if you really wanted to do an action in so if you wanted to do an invasion, you wouldn't tell everybody what year you was going to do it. You'd want to pull it off beforehand or afterhand, one of the two, just to throw people off. And the element of surprise goes with doing it beforehand. That's why next year this may happen this year. So here's what concerns me. Now, let me preface this. I would say the vast majority of Chinese people in America probably love this country. They're great, wonderful people. We've had a lot of great, wonderful Chinese friends. So I've even dated a few ladies from China. So, you know, most of them are industrious people. They're smart people, and they're charming. Got nothing against the people. In fact, I love the Chinese people. I love people from all over the world. What I don't love is the governments that have totalitarian tendencies, and ours is running that way as hard as they can, and I do not appreciate that. So I started the Freedom Restoration Foundation to try to maintain some elements of our freedom, to win back things that we hold dear. You have a beautiful and smart daughter. Yeah, that's true, Stan. That is very true. We had a beautiful daughter together, and that girl sings opera. That girl, she's an engineer now. So, you know, very smart, very beautiful soul. You know, her whole family was industrious, good people, good-hearted people, very industrious. I think the world of them. They're all good people. I got nothing bad to say about them whatsoever. So, and you'll find good industrious people from China. But what you got to bear in mind here is there is, according to the book, some 2,422,970 Chinese in the United States. You see this, guys? I don't know if you can see this number here. 2,422,970. Whenever, I think this was a 1918 number, not 1918, 2018. Holy smoke, my mind is going backwards. Earth Base One, that's a heck of a good name. My future wife may work in a factory in China. Okay, we may all work for Chinese factories right here. Every factory might be a Chinese factory if we're not careful. Argentina went communist. That's sad. Well, that's the way Brazil seems to be trying to go. And that's also, hey, look, we had Iranian warship docking in Brazil. So things ain't looking too good down in our soft underbelly, mainly because our State Department is a bunch of idiots and imbeciles. They don't know how to garner good relationships with other nations, apparently. All that aside, guys, here's what you got to know. If only 1 in 1,000 of these people were against us, that would still be 2,400 and, maybe 30, you can round it up. It's over 2,000, almost 2,500 people that could be members of sleeper cells. Now, you know darn well the Chinese military, the PLA being what they are, and the fact that China is buying properties next to our military bases, just like Iran has sent people over here to be in sleeper cells. They admitted doing it, and admitted over 10 years ago having over 20 sleeper cells in the United States. Iran is not in America anywhere near the way China is. China has got entrails. They've got their little tentacles spread all throughout this nation through the Confucius Institutes and through many, many, many means. They've even got Chinese police stations all over the world to try to monitor and corral Chinese people that are abroad. Isn't that scary? I feel for the Chinese people that are abroad. And in the mind of China, if you're of Chinese descent, you belong to them. They don't care whether you're born in their country or where you're 100 generations removed. They don't care if you're of Chinese descent. They think they own you. They literally do. And that's scary. That's scary for people of Chinese descent, because most of them that's outside that system don't want any part of it. They're smarter than that. I'll tell you, they're smart people. So, and they look and see what happened to Hong Kong. It's not hard to see how China breaks their promises and their treaties whenever it suits them. So treaties for China just a way to make other people do what they want. Yeah, anyway, so guys, what you got to bear in mind is this. There's plenty of room here for sleeper cells in the United States from these and other people's too. Huge room for sleeper cells. And China has apparently been involved quite deeply with the drug cartels in Mexico, probably funding them, aiding them. I understand that China provided auto sears for all kinds of bang bangs, if you know what I mean, that belong to those gangs. So that is highly concerning. Should be to any American, especially living along the border with Mexico. Highly concerned. It should be highly concerning to people in Mexico, because the drug gangs have the upper hand, and everybody in Mexico is suffering because of that. The people of Mexico suffer greatly because of the drug trade that we fuel coming out of that country. It's not just Americans that suffer, but Americans also suffer greatly, and that we had like over 107,000 deaths from drug overdoses last year. A lot of that's from fentanyl that was been supplied into our country from China through those drug gangs. So this is an act, in my opinion, that's an act of WAR. I don't know if I can say it in here without getting in trouble, but guys, that is horrendous. And, so to think that everything's peaceful and hunky-dory would be a misconception. So given that tendency from the CCP, I could see the CCP really, since they got so many tentacles in this country, I could see having maybe tens of thousands of members of sleeper cells in this country, all ready to do what? Let me stop the share for a minute. Let's just chat here for a minute. We don't need all this stuff up here. All ready to attack our critical infrastructure. You see, guys, in the United States, we live. Oh, hey, thank you very much, Samuel. Thank you, Samuel Turner. Appreciate that. In this country, we are almost entirely dependent on long distributed systems, long pipelines that go through a lot of little bitty central node points. All these are vulnerable. How do you protect an entire pipeline? How do you protect an entire rail line? How do you protect all these long power lines? How do you protect so many thousands of high voltage transformers across this nation? How do you protect against pumping? How do you protect the pumping stations for the oil, the fuel, the gas, the water? How do you keep somebody from finding a weak point somewhere in the water supply to put something in that could do great damage to the people in the cities? You see what I'm saying, guys? We are wide open in this country. Not only do we have all these distributed systems, but our society is wide. Anybody can come in here almost and go anywhere and do anything. And we love our freedom, and I definitely want to promote that. But you have to be vigilant because of that. And I think this whole thing where we have so great dependencies is unsustainable. I'm going to say this: cities are unsustainable. All these people talking about this is unsustainable, that's unsustainable, let's have smart cities. Oh no, smart cities are coffins in the making. Smart cities are stupid, just like the smart grid. Smart grid, yeah, they control you. And grid down, you know, all that smarts gets fried by E1 radiation from an EMP. Smart grids are stupid grids. Smart cities are stupid cities. Cities are stupid. The cities are totally dependent on all these long chains. If you live in the city, you're dependent. Your life depends on multiple long supply chains, long processes, very intricate supply chains that are liable to unravel in asymmetric warfare. Our nation can be brought to its knees just by taking out rail lines and pumping stations. Oh yeah, power grid, definitely the power grid. Power grid is the linchpin to all these things. Communication system. We got so many distributed systems, so many critical systems in this country. I believe if you go back and look at the charts that General Ken Krosny pitched on this channel some months ago, I think there's something like 14 critical systems that we're totally reliant on. Of course, at the core of every one of those is electrical power. And like I said already, Iran had admitted years ago to having sleeper cells in this country, pre-positioned to take out 20 of our most critical substations, which 9 of which would bring down the entire grid. Oh yeah, and China's got, you know, there wasn't one of those high voltage transformers made in China that was grabbed by Sandia National Laboratories and investigated. It's highly classified, what they found, highly classified. If there was nothing there, there'd be nothing to classify. Why is it classified? And why can't we know? The speculation, and it's speculation, I don't know exactly what's in it because it's highly classified, but speculation is they have something like cellular phone technology in some of their black boxes that can not only monitor what's happening on that node, on that transformer, but take it down. And maybe they can in concert know which ones are out there and how they're loaded. And then they could take down certain transformers, cause several others to burn up, enough to totally fry our grid, totally remotely. So even with all these so-called sleeper cells, hackers may be what does us in. What can hackers do? They can take down pipelines, as we've already seen with the Colonial Pipeline several years ago. And that was just denial of service, about 2 years ago. What was it? Not 2 years ago. That was just a denial of service type hack. So what if the next round is a destruction of service hack, like we hacked this with a Stuxnet virus into the centrifuges in Iran once upon a time? Oh yeah. And infrastructure wars. No, we wouldn't engage in that. Nobody would in their right mind would dream of blowing up Nord Stream pipeline. And now our administration says the Ukrainians did it. Well, what sophistication the Ukrainians got to pull off an operation? That was a very sophisticated operation And I don't see that. I just can't. Oh, well, they first had to blame the Russians, and now they're blaming the Ukrainians. But Seymour Hersh wrote a long, and I condensed into Word documents like 19 pages. I paraphrased it. I could actually read my document out live on this channel and tell you the whole story. It's very intricate, very detailed, step by step. This person, that person, the decision processes they went through. When you got a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist that is known for breaking stories like Seymour Hersh, I have a hard time imagining he just made all that up. It's just, hey, Adam, appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Have a cup of coffee on me, brother. Well, hey, I got a little bit right here. I'm going to have a drink right now. Need something to keep me. Why am I telling you all this stuff? Because I am driving home to you some ideas that you need to take home, and you need to tell your family about. You need to take it into your mind and into your heart. Cities really are not sustainable. Cities are a bad place to be. When the grid goes down, it's nothing but hungry people, millions of hungry people, zombies. And if any one of these critical subsystems I just mentioned fail, it's going to be an ugly day. But you get people inside this country, like maybe in retaliation against the Nord Stream pipeline, or retaliation against whatever. There's so many people that, the United States has been the king of the hill for a long time. When you're the king of the hill, everybody wants to take you down. And now they're beginning to see the means for how to do it. You realize that you can buy for a few $1,000s. Actually, I've seen some for sale for a few $100s on the internet. These things called train deraillers. Supposedly they're for use in the mines. But they will actually, you can put them on railroad tracks and you can cause a train to derail with these devices. You can order off the internet. So and the highest price I saw was $1,400. So for $1,400, you could crash a multi-million-dollar train, and maybe do, if it's got chemicals on it, or maybe trillions of dollars worth of damage to a community like East Palestine, Ohio, the whole region around there. I mean, what's the result of that? That's got all in the land out there. Is it going to contaminate the crops going down the Ohio River, contaminating fish, water inlets, the number of cities, farms. I hate to live in Louisiana. I hate to be a Cajun right now. Poor folks, I admire the heck out of them. I love watching years ago, back when I used to watch a lot of documentaries on TV. It's the last thing I ever watched was documentaries. Seeing how the guys were out there in Cajun country hunting gators and stuff like that. Those are admirable people. But guys, all the water they live in, swim in, and eat from, got to come all the way down all the rivers in the United States, everywhere in the United States, straight to them. There's all the pollutants, all the contaminants. Yeah, I feel for them right now. I feel for them, especially with all the PFASs, all the chemicals, those forever chemicals that are in the system. That's one place where cities were sustainable when they were ringed by farms that didn't need electricity. There you go. There was a time, but that time is past. So yeah, I'm gonna go back now. We're gonna do a reshare. I'm gonna show you some demographics about cities. I just had to stop the share for a minute just to get straight to your heart, for you to understand and take it within you. The cities don't work. They're not going to work. They're going to fail. They're trying to herd us all into the cities. They want to take everybody off the land. They got maps where nobody lives on the land. Tons of these maps. We're going to make everything forever wild. Oh yeah. And they oh my God, they want everybody in a 15-minute city. They ain't talking about 5-minute cities. Yeah, guys. Yeah, guys. Modern cities like mouse traps. That's a pretty good one there, Jason. Pretty good one. What about Mobile, Alabama, USA? Ken, all cities are vulnerable because how many people in the city are growing their own food? How many people in the city are going to make it when they can't get water, when the municipal water shut down, when the fuel shut down, when the power shut down? What's going to happen? What are those people going to do? They're going to be starving. They're going to be hunting something. Just remember, Katrina, the city went in total chaos in 3 days. Law enforcement fled their post, went home to take care of mama and the kids because other people were already beating on the doors trying to get their mom and kids. It got ugly in a hurry. And yeah, it don't take long. Hey, Wendy, how you doing? Say howdy, Granny. I was in earlier. Yeah. Oh, another live stream. Okay. Well, glad to have you back, Granny. It's good to see you too. So, guys, let me share some stuff with you here. I'm going to go back here and we're going to look at this one. And we're going to end this tonight talking about my farm. And I might go do a session later on galactic grades. But take me a minute to switch stuff, a few minutes to switch things over. Joe, can I say? I don't know if I'm saying it right. Joe Vanesh. I'm not saying it right. I'm sure. We have sleeper cells here too. We have sleeper cells here. Do we have sleeper cells in China and Russia? Well, you got to consider maybe a little bit, but you know, those are command and control societies. It's harder to do that kind of operation there. And in China, so many people are ethnically local that it's hard for, you know, a guy who looks like me to slip in there and go unnoticed. But we got everybody over here, so anybody could slip in here and go unnoticed almost. South Louisiana is a petrochemical state. Yeah, it's mostly at the coast, so it washes out. So when all of it's coming from all over the United States down through those bayous, it's not good. Cheddar pepper, good to see you, man. Cheddar pepper, cheddar pepper. Boy, that's a tongue twister. Cheddar pepper. That's all right. Yeah. Say that 12 times fast. Wow, guys, so that is a tongue twister. Yeah, we got them going all over. Wendy says, yeah, and all of them are going to come out to the country. Exactly. You know, you might have all your stuff and be holed up and off the grid. You might think you're going to be okay. But when all these people start pouring out of the cities, they're looking for you. And when those nuclear power plants and even the spent fuel rods start cooking off, this country's going to be in a sad state. Well, that's why we don't need to be attacking the grid. We don't need to be attacking this infrastructure, especially the power grid. That's why we need to work to get it hardened, guys. All right, so I'm going to go back into the share space here. Ding, 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 ding. Once more, ding, 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 right here. That was that demographic. I'm going to show you another demographic here. Bang. Well, I said it was. There it is. Stuff is loading slow. This is the degree of urbanization of the United States from 1790 to 2020. And they're projecting to 2050. So 2020 is right about, let's see here, right here. Right now, 82.66% of the people in the United States are urban. That's over 80%. 8 out of 10 people live in urban areas. And they're projecting by 2050, it'll only be 11% living in rural areas. So look at that, guys. Urban versus rural. 2020. Canada's probably a lot like that. So Jason's way up in now, not Jason Smith or other Jason, Arnold Schmidt. Arnold is way up in Alberta. And yeah, some of you guys are way out in the middle of nowhere. But guys, the people in the urban settings, that's 80, you know, these people are going to be in dire trouble. But here's what, go back and watch some of my videos from like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when I was riding around in the country in the springtime through very rural areas around here and even way down in South Georgia where there's like no cities like forever, where it's all farm country. And I'm just driving around and looking at all the farms. I'm like, well, this is all commercial cropland. It's Monsanto seeds, which won't be resupplied, requiring fuel to tractors to grow. And airborne, okay. C-130 running down the strip. Airborne daddy gonna take a little trip. Stand up, pick. Hey, yeah, we got John Cole in the house, no wonder. Colonel Cole. And we got Pickaxe Prepper, who's next to Fort Bragg. Very good. Scratch from up there. Hey, well, Scratch, I like your new logo. He's got the snake, the freedom snake. Don't tread on us. Anton Smith, I'm in the suburbs. I'm telling you, suburbs is going to be a bad place. 1 hour north of Edmonton in Alberta. Well, Sebastian, that sounds like a good rural location. South Georgia wiregrass. Yeah, no, thank you. Well, I'm telling you what, though, it is rural. But what my point is, I did a video. where I was driving, and I was driving like for miles. I go back and look at all these places, no garden, 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 no garden. And after driving a few miles, I'd find, hey, Colorado Jan, thank you. I got a couple of checks in the mail from Colorado Jan. Thank you, Colorado Jan. No garden, 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 no garden. So even out in the country, even in the rural areas, most of these people are going to be most farmers are going to starve to death on the farm. That was the title of my video. And I did it around here too. And I even went to Google Earth and looked down at all these farms on Google Earth, made sure they wasn't hiding their gardens in the backyard like they ought to be. No, they just don't have gardens. The farms are market farms. They're going to be in trouble. The trouble is going to be a lot worse than people imagine. When the EMP Commission briefed Congress back about 15 years ago now, over 15 years ago, saying they come up with their estimates. And Peter Pry told me about this, how the estimate was derived, and the name of the guy that derived it. We had a long conversation about this, Dr. Pry and I did. And I told him I thought that estimate, the estimate that 9 out of 10 people would be dead in a year from societal collapse. I said, Peter, I think that's very optimistic. And I gave him my reason, and he told me what the rationale was behind how they come up with that number. And they were banking on more rural people having the means to eat and growing their own food than what is actually the case. You go out on the farms, and a lot of these people most of them are living off stuff they're buying out of the store over and over and over. And if they are growing a garden, they're going to the store to buy their fertilizers. They're going to the store to buy all the stuff they need to make that garden grow, including seeds. And they're raising a lot of hybrid stuff. I'm telling you guys, go to True Leaf Market. Check my link below. This True Leaf Market. Go there and get you some heirloom seeds, or go to Eden Brothers. I carry both of those and links to my videos that I upload. Not always the ones I do live like this. I'm bad on videos like this to not carry that stuff, guys. But you really need to look at that stuff, because, and here's the other thing, with all the vulnerabilities in our distributed systems, our supply chains, our trains, this whole thing can unravel fast, and you may not be able to get anything. This may happen even before a shooting bang bang war starts, guys. This may happen earlier. This may be a prelude, and it may already be starting. That's what you got to pay attention to. So supplies may not be available long. I can't guarantee nothing. We don't know. It might be fine, but I cannot say that, especially given the uptick in the frequency of train derailments and all these food processors and plants. They just mysteriously, coincidentally, just catch on fire all at once. Refineries, well, they're just coincidentally catching on fire and blowing up. It's total coincidence, right? Greg, have you noticed no matter what the catastrophe is, 90% loss? Well, that's what they say, but I'm telling you, guys, it's going to be a lot worse. A lot worse. How many people did North America carry back in the Indian days, population-wise? About 10 million. And those were people who were well adjusted to their environment. They also farmed. The word Alabama meant clear the land and plant the seeds. The Indians that lived here were mostly farmers. They did hunt and gather, move around, but they also farmed. And they knew how to live off the land. Who today knows that? Can you take 10 million Americans today and throw them out in the wilderness and expect them to survive? Are you kidding me? Show me 10 million Americans to survive if you throw them in the wilderness, huh? Just show it to me. A lot of people think they go, well, I got my big bang bang. I'll be eating for years to come on them deer out there. I heard so many people tell me that. No, you won't. You're going to starve to death in a matter of weeks because you're going to, those deer will cease to exist in a big hurry. So they'll be gone. All scripted. What's scripted there, Mr. C? Yeah, what's John saying? What is John saying? Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that link there, New Days. It's a True Leaf Market. Hey, they got good seeds there. Eden Brothers shared that. Thank you. They got good seeds. Greenhouse growing, that's one way to get stuff to grow with. Guys, if you want it, you better get it. Get it. There's an old saying I used to live by, get it while the getting's good. I don't mean it's cheap, it's gettable. That's what that means. Get it, and maybe I should just say get it while you can get it. I've always said get it while the getting's good. I've had two mottos in my life: get it while the getting's good, and no guts, no glory. Kitsy Witty, hello, how you doing? All right, so get it while the getting's good. Forget wanting us to, they barely can make it with the lights out for a few days. You're right, lady. Now, Lady Daggerstatus is from the Garden State. You got a garden in the Garden State, lady? How many people in Garden State are gardening? All right, so this is a sad thing right here, guys. The country is almost entirely urban. The urban people aren't going to make it. They're definitely dependent on these systems, and so is the bulk of the rural people. That's what you need to know. It is going to get rough in a hurry when all this stuff starts breaking down. That's why I'm showing you this. I'm trying to get across the gravity of where we're at. Michael Sherman Gardner wouldn't work anymore. Howdy, how you doing, sir? Appreciate all your generosity of late. And everybody else, there's been a lot of people have been really helpful lately, and you pick my spirits up a lot, showing the love. Y'all have shown a lot of love lately. Make hay while the sun shines. That's the one right there. And you knew that is exactly right. Make hay while the sun shines. So now I'm going to give y'all the answer to the mystery question: where have all my worms went? Well, you know, Xi Jinping don't like it because I've been talking about China. So I decided I need to send him a warning. It's kind of like Russia putting subs off our coast. Well, I've sent Xi Jinping a warning to leave green Gregs alone. And how come this ain't moving? There we go. And here it is. China pummeled by a rain of worms as residents asked to carry. Why is all these ads popping in here? I can't even show you the article I want to for the stupid ads. Oh my goodness. I hate, New York Post is one of the worst ones. China pummeled by rain of worms. Look at the car. It's raining worms in the capital city of China, in Beijing. Raining worms. Worms go boom. Exactly. The pipeline didn't blow itself. No, it didn't. Waiting for the nukes to drop EMP. It could do it. That could do it. That could do it. Could happen. Yeah, lady, isn't that funny? Scratch. An old workmate used to have a similar saying: better to have it than to be looking for it. Amen to that. Amen to that. Yeah, there you go. That's my worms, Cali Prepper. Now you know where they went. So Xi Jinping, don't mess with green Gregs. You know, I got worms. I'm a worm wizard, so don't mess with me, man. There we go. Unless young people can grow gardens on phones. Oh my God. Now you're scaring me. That's a good one. You see the young people growing the gardens on their phones? Yeah, they'll run a sim, a garden sim, like these games where it shows a guy running around picking corn, feeding cows, and then suddenly the cows make milk and they give it to somebody and pay them money, and silly games like that. Yeah, they got some. So I see those kind of ads sometimes. I went on the computer. Greg, question: did you use magic to make the worm rain? There you go. As far as Xi Jinping is concerned, the answer is yes. So Xi Jinping, leave green Gregs alone. John's laughing about the phones. Exactly. Yeah, let's see them grow on the phones. Yeah, it's all a game to them. Well, there's going to be some hungry folks. I'm going to tell you that. Some hungry folks. What do you say, Colonel Cole? Colonel Cole, did you see my Marine on my channel earlier today? Sent a rocket full of worms. There you go. That's right. Or I might have dropped them from my balloons. Hey, they got balloons. I got balloons too. I know how to balloon. All righty, guys. Don't beat me up for using some of these news sources, but this is one that's talking about the submarines off our coast. Spark Cold War comparisons. You know, all these people are all worried about us having a Cold War. They don't seem to recognize that we're in a worse situation than we were in the Cold War. Holy guac and smoke them. What kind of double talk is that? Have you read about how earthworms arrived in America? Shipwrecks. Yeah, there were no earthworms in North America. Isn't that strange? Probably because the Laurentide, the comet hit the Laurentide ice sheet, probably killed them all. That between that and the Ice Age. So, all right, let's look at some other things here. Like I said, our State Department is totally was a funny ad. Owl that should have feathers spreading bat wings. Oh my God, it comes up with that stuff. All right, guys, we know that Joe Biden has not been able to win the Saudi Arabians over. The worms are from here and have a new variant. There you go. Popping all this stuff on me. So, guys, Saudi Arabia and Iran have been fighting a pretty intense proxy war through the Houthis there in Yemen for years. And it's even resulted in attacks on Saudi refineries. A lot of concern about this war, and Iran was providing some really sophisticated drones to the Yemenis. And this war was getting pretty bad. So Saudi Arabia was definitely opposed to Iran getting a bomb, very much opposed to it. And it looked like they were going to operate and cooperate with Israel. But thanks to this guy here, he's so popular with this guy here, these guys actually took a deal negotiated by China. And now they're talking about peace with Iran. Holy guacamole. Iran and Saudi Arabia making peace. Because our State Department, our administration is so adept at winning friends. Bad owl, no kidding. Crimea. Oh, it is a Crimea. That's kind of makes you think of the Peninsula Crimea, right? Crimea is from Crimea. I don't know what in the world. Man, what is that silly ad? Guess less and sell more. Yeah, MailChimp. Oh my God. That is gross. That's weird. That is weird. Anyway, so yeah, bats are mammals, owls are birds, very different critters. So guys, this is what we're looking at. We are looking at a war with Iran, and we're not going to get help from these guys anymore, mainly because of this guy, a lot because of him. So you too. So hey, Cha, thank you for sharing my Swivelhead News channel. Look at that in a minute. Greg, Saudis remember Biden being part. Yep, exactly, Jesse. They got no love for Biden, and they make it known. They are very pointed about it. They go out of their way to make it known. Never has the United States president had so much disrespect from the country that underwrote our dollar becoming the world's reserve currency with the oil bucks deal. So Joe says a couple of my glass panels broke on my greenhouse, too much snow weight. Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that. The idea of putting up a greenhouse in Maine. Space Girl, how you doing? So we'll talk more about that in a little bit. So talking about stuff in the Mideast, Euphrates River drying up, guys. You know, this is biblical, because this is where the 4 demons from the east come across the river with an army of 200 million. Now, a whole lot of stuff in Revelations can be explained and has often been explained away as being predictions for things that pertain to the time in which it was written. But the time at which Revelations was written, this prophecy couldn't have been applicable because there was only 50 million people on earth. And then we're talking about an army coming from the east of 200 million. Turns out now there's 2 nations in that direction that could source an army that big. And I really don't think the Indian army is going to be doing it. So at one time, folks speculated that China would attack Saudi Arabia to get their oil. I don't think so. I think they're going to get it anyway now. So they may be aiming for Israel. I don't know who China's aiming at, but this could get ugly, guys. China's been very, Bible prophecy. Anyone would think it's cyclical. Maybe. Coming late, we'll catch up. Hey, Rochelle, how you doing? All right, so I don't know, guys. we're expecting war with Iran starting any time now, and Iran's an ally of both Russia and China. Just bear that in mind. Okay, somebody talked about this. So we're coming to it, the big floods, the California atmospheric river. Actually, I think there's been at least a couple of people already died from this. Maybe I got an article. The guys are getting flooded. Now, as I've mentioned, in the 1860s, the Sacramento Valley was under several feet of water. It was like a lake. You know, it's well above sea level. So how that happened, how that worked, I don't know, guys. But California had severe flood during that time due to another previous atmospheric river, and that could repeat itself. I mean, going from drought to floods. Yeah, things can go extreme in the West one way to another, especially in California. Especially there now. Oh, yeah, train wrecks. Here we are, guys. Trains derailing all over the country. What's going on? You know, now it's Alabama, West Virginia. So could some of this be the beginnings of what I was talking about? Or is the war already started? And is that part of it? Who is doing this? Or is it maybe more than one group? I don't know, guys, but it does not serve well for our infrastructure. You got to remember, my universal habitat concept is for a home you can live in, make a living out of, and grow all your food in, and be independent, self-sustainable, out of your home. That's the kind of thing we need. It's kind of thinking we need. You don't need all that distributed system. We don't even need the roads, really, not like we got them today. The pipelines, the rail lines. You probably still want some kind of data communications for those that want to work from home. All right, so you got to check out my universal habitat videos, guys. This is where we need to go. That is sustainable. It's the only thing that's sustainable is to be independent, a homestead or universal habitat, very much sustainable. Not enough people working on the rails labor shortage. Oh, geodesic domes, greenhouse, snow slides off. That's good to know. The geodesic dome's got a strange geometry. All right, guys, I don't know about this article. This article really strikes me odd. Iran is gearing up to attack Britain. It says Britain and the West. Yeah, why would Iran want to attack Britain? I don't know. Britain's made a lot of trouble. Did you call Rex? I have texted him. We've texted each other. He wants to do a live show here soon. And yeah, he's getting a homestead. So how you doing, Mr. C? Huge worms are surfacing in California too. Imagine that. Zen Jamming, how you doing, buddy? Greg will thrive and stay out of the hive. That's the whole object. Stay out of the hive, guys. Obi, how you doing, Obi-Wan? So let's see. I have to leave by the end of the month. Oh, stray kitten. You're serious about bugging out. Are you being, it's something to do with, well, you know, if you want to email me, you can email me. So suppose you don't want to talk details to the whole public, guys. All right, let's have a look at some of this atmospheric stuff and rivers and things like that. Look here, we still got it's still wintertime, a lot of snow in New York State, all the way down to West by God, Virginia, and a little bit below there into Virginia, along the Appalachian Mountains. New days, you are snow, nothing falling there. I don't say you're snow free because I know you get about 2 foot on the ground. Okay, in the Rockies up here, lots of snow. California getting snow. LA getting water and rain. Looks like snow and rain mixed in Utah. Pretty heavy in some spots. Oh, I don't want that to come pop up. Go down. But you can see the river coming right here. Wow, it's been funneled both ways and aimed right at LA. So LA is the target of Mama Nature. So let's get LA. Well, that's our biggest city. See, Mama Nature is not in favor of cities. All right, Fort McMurray, 10 degrees, high level, 10 degrees. Not Edmonton, 14. That's 4 degrees variation in a big place like Alberta. That's pretty amazing. It's only that much. Fairbanks says 8. Tanana is 10. We'll zoom in. Delta Junction, 8 degrees. Healy 5. Healy's up in the mountains there. Anchorage, balmy 26. Yeah, almost 20 degrees warmer than Delta Junction and Fairbanks. Yeah, when I lived in Alaska, we called Anchorage the banana belt back in the day. I might have some more coffee. Norway getting some snow. Scratch, what's that stuff? Scratch, you're getting something going on there. And Wales, it's like snowing in Wales, snowing up here in northern England, a little bit in Ireland. Oh, look, even snow down here. Ukraine is wet. Warm air coming from the south, 40s. Yeah, don't make for a good winter offensive for Putin. Apparently he's running out of time, because last year when he moved, it was in late February. His tanks got bogged down. They had to run on the roads, which made them sit and duck targets. All right, guys. Yeah, a lot of rain down here in South America. All right. Right off the coast of Madagascar. What's that? Mozambique. Yep. There we are. Mozambique got a storm. Look at that. That's got a little cyclone action. Storm in Mozambique. Rain in Tanzania. That's how they pronounce it. They don't say Tanzania. It's Tanzania. Like a lasagna. We'll put it on ya. Tanzania. All right. So that's the trip around the world. Earthquakes. A lot of shaking going on. Look here in the west. Colorado, 4.3. Segundo, Colorado. I wonder how close that is to our buddy Rex. Stevie Snat's got 33 degrees C right now. And all right. Queensland. Is that Queensland, QLD? That's the northern part of Australia, if I understand right. So Stray Kitten's telling us what's going on. Guys, we need to pray for Stray Kitten. Neighborhood making up stuff to landlord and becoming hostile. So your landlord's becoming hostile to you because of neighbors. Bless your heart, Stray Kitten. Where are you located? Where you at, Stray Kitten? Hexafuse getting some snow here in Ohio. Yeah, we saw that. We saw that. 50 Willow, Alaska today, 38 now. Well done. 50. That's a heat wave. Big heat wave. Man. Patrick Bellamy. Hey, Greg. Greetings from atmospheric Southern California. I bet. You better get your canoe. George Coggins. 1,700 plus derailments on average year in the United States. Wow. That's several a day, derailments. Where's Amanda? I don't know, Jason. She might join us. She does a lot of different chats. A little cloud nucleation. Yeah, we'll get warmer in Alaska. The more we head into GSM. Yeah, it's that way. Not neighborhood, I meant one neighbor. Oh, it's always you get a neighbor. Yeah. That's all it takes is to mess life up. So they got to your landlord, huh? Anyway, that's sad to hear. Everybody say a prayer for Stray Kenton tonight. All right. Excuse me, guys. Oh, I got to have some more of this coffee here. Guys, I've been pushing hard. I've had my main task in my day job for years has been working on this board right here. and I got taken off that, and that's the biggest thing where I'm at. Mad. People better start getting mad about this stuff. Well, I hear you, Mr. C. So I put this out here so that you know what's happening, what's going on. And I'm sharing perspective here that you're probably not going to hear from a lot of other YouTube channels, especially how this all connects about this whole degree of sleeper cells. We probably got all kinds of sleeper cells here. We got Russian, Chinese. We've got the sleeper cells from Iran that we know about, that they told us. We don't know necessarily who they are, but they told us they got them here. Yeah, getting close to bedtime here. We've got a lot of threats inside this country, and they can really mess us up bad because we have all kinds of vulnerabilities we already shouldn't have. We should not have designed a society. What happened with the worms? Oh yeah, Mr. C, I showed you a video that it's raining worms in China. Stay strong, Rocket Wizard. We're working on it, Daryl. I'm working on plans. So what I was telling you guys is that my day job is going poof, but I did have some tasks to support some work being done by a company called AI Tech in support of JPL. Now, all this time, I didn't know what the names was. I was told what the names of these boards were that we were working on. And I don't know what the ultimate project is, but I'm hearing now it probably relates to something that's going to take out hypersonic missiles. I thought I was working on a deep space probe. It turns out it's may not be that at all. May not be that at all. I don't know, but it's like a part-time thing. I get, they tell me to stop work on it, and then we got to have this product now. So I thought I had, they only got like 80 hours of billable time this project through the end of the month, and so I was going to try to put most of it in the last couple of weeks, and suddenly they needed it all at once. And so I've been working overtime. I was up late last night just spanking the keyboard to do a hazard analysis. I do avionics hazard analysis, avionics system safety. I understand avionics. I understand rockets. And I'm considered a subject matter expert in the world of system safety. And so that's what I was doing. I was working on that. And it kept me from doing a lot of other things. I've got a white paper that I'm working on. So I worked on that until about 5 o'clock today. And then I had to get ready. I had that interview that y'all saw. But before I did that interview, I needed to do an executive summary, a one-pager from my white paper. They needed it like pronto. So I took and built a one-page. I had an executive summary, but it was a paragraph. So I expanded it. And I turned that in. And as soon as I did that, I posted the video. I had some errands to run. I had to eat a little bite of food. And I've come back and I started, pulling together, my articles to do my this video tonight. So I have been exceedingly busy. And that's what I'm telling you guys. I've got still to do the 1099s for taxes. I'm way behind on that. I got to do my taxes, the back taxes. Maybe I can get some money back that will help me out if I can get that done. Let us pay down some of the debt, if nothing else. Corporations are sleeper cell in charge of propaganda supplies. Oh, madam, there's that too, especially the ESG stuff. All the woke companies today that have been forced to be woke because so much of their shares are now owned by BlackRock. And BlackRock is pulling a lot of strings. And yeah, so it is a very dark company, BlackRock. How far can you throw a rock nowadays? Oh, what is that all about? What kind of hazards do you look for? Can you say? It depends on the scope of the work. Usually I'm looking at that could be crew safety hazards or mission success hazards, things that cause a rocket to go boom. But what I'm looking at for these boards actually has to do with manufacturing hazards so that the guys building them don't get shocked to death. Things like that. So the tantalum capacitors don't blow up in their face. So that, some of these parts don't give them issues. So, I'm looking at that kind of stuff. And I'm looking, what can go wrong? That's a hazard. What causes the hazard? How do you control the cause? And then you have a verification, the controls in place so the cause don't cause the hazard to go boom. Hey, Scooby Snacks. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. How's the weather down there, Scooby Snacks? All right, $5 Australian. Appreciate it. So, like I said, this task, we don't know that we're going to get any more work in this task, but they're trying. They do. It's possible I might get some work just kind of scattered out, like part-time here, part-time there task. So, I might be able to get a little bit of work like that going forward. That could end soon, or it might keep going. We just don't know if that's got to be up. It's not a full-time job. Now, there's some effort to try to make it like that, but it's not a full-time job. It's just task here and there, which might work out with some other things if I can put some things together. I have been made something of an offer that still would need a lot of negotiation for something in Snowflake, of all places. Get yourself a fat cigar. Well, thank you, Chewy Weather. Chewy, I might be coming in your neighborhood. The thing about that kind of offer is that, appreciate that, Chewy. Cigars I usually buy is about $5 for a pack of 5. That gets me a whole pack. They're big, but they're cheap. That's the kind I usually see me smoking. Big, fat, cheap cigars. That's it. They're called Titans, Philly Titans. What you usually see me right here. Yeah, they just got a paper outer shell on, and the back inside's ground up. Every now and then I get a really good one. Yeah, the true nice big cigars. Yeah, that's my main. This guys are cheap. They're big. Pool weather. There you are. You're in pool weather. That's nice. Yeah, so your summer is coming to an end there. Yeah, it's still pool weather. We're still coming. Our winter's coming in. My pear trees have all bloomed out. Either me or whoever winds up this property going to have a lot of pears this fall. Good Lord willing. Yeah, I planted an orchard. It takes a while for an orchard to really start popping in, and it started. I got a fig tree out there. A couple of them that make tons of figs. There's one that's just ginormous over next to the greenhouse. Blackwoods will cost you $10 or better for 5. Oh, cigars. Okay. With 20 trillion between then and Blackwood and Vanguard, BlackRock, almost, yeah, they're trying to own everything. That's what they're trying to do. And a rocket scientist is a person in your neighborhood. Is that a song, Arnold? I don't believe in karma. Too many bad things happen to too many good people. Well, Stray Kitten, it's like you're going through some of it. Where are you located, Stray Kitten? What state are you in? Maybe you should go on our Survival Tribe network and look to connect with people that are close to you. Somebody might be able to help you. But tell us where you're at. Maybe somebody here could help you. Just tell us where you're at. If you don't mind, I mean, if you don't want to, you don't have to. Just a suggestion. Crew Dragon just left ISS. Okay, cool. I should watch for that. Maybe do a live video on Galactic Gregs. As I've been so absorbed with everything I've had to do, I've kind of lost track of some of that stuff. I mean, I've been working at hazard analysis. I'm working my paper on the threat from balloons, and I'll probably do a video on it. Thank you, Jason, for asking for the thumbs up. I will probably do a video on that real soon, the paper. And I've shown y'all snippets of it in another video not long, back a few weeks ago. So I will probably turn that thing into a PowerPoint presentation and make a video. Thank you, New Days, for sharing that Survival Tribe network. Hey, where is Wise Owl tonight? Hope she's okay. So she was talking about something going on. Her husband's family or somebody was having issues, if I recall right. We need to be praying for an aluminum sheen on my fruit trees last summer. Aluminum sheen, that's weird. I don't know what that was. Something funny coming down from the sky. Oh my God, guys. Yeah, we got all kind of contaminants going around, guys. I don't have anything to bring to the table. I'll be a liability. Well, Stray Kitten, do you have skills? Do you have knowledge? Don't write yourself off. Don't write yourself off, Stray Kitten. Talk to people. Don't be a stranger. Talk to people. talk to people. We got a lot of people, and look, guys, Stray Kitten, this channel's family. There's a lot of people in here that got a lot of love in their heart. There may be somebody here that could help you. Just keep that in mind. We're family here. And I really felt the love and outpouring from you guys here in this past week. I've been hit hard several different ways this week. Lost job, lost greenhouse, lost worms. Mushroom house took too long to get together. Some of the things I thought was going to be opportunities for a market opportunity with my microgreens just didn't pan out. Just several things hit me in this past. Well, some of the microgreens in the mushroom house was, cooking a little bit longer than that, not just in the last week, but actually it's been the last couple of weeks. I discovered one of our things was working on for market and was not panning out. It don't mean there's a lot of other avenues to take, but that was hopefully ones that are going to take me a lot of time putting into, because I'm so stressed for time right now. God has a purpose for you, Stray Kitten. So there you go, Wendy. God has a purpose for you. You're here. You're here for a reason. Stray Kitten become oh yeah, there you go. A wolfer's what she's trying to say, not a wooter. She should be an elf, or she put a D. A wolfer. Yeah, you can stay on farms. All you got to do is offer to help a little bit. And that's what New Day, share the link for the wolfing website. That might help her. Share the link. There's things that you can do. Rochelle, my health is crappy, says Granny. Well, bless your heart. Yeah, we got to pray for some of our people in here tonight. Mr. Jason, I haven't, but it sounds like a documentary. Oh, whatever. All right, so guys, I'm 34 and I don't know my reason to be here. Well, you're not old enough to have found it out yet. I'm just beginning to figure mine out. I'm 60, almost 63 in not too many days. Yes, Wolfer. Yeah, exactly. I knew what you meant. Knew what you meant. Let's see here. Excuse me. Anton, go with what interests you. Yeah, you still got a lot of time there, Anton. 34. You still got a lot of time. That will be my only hope if I could. Well, the wolfing might be a good opportunity for you. Check it out, Stray Kitten. Check it out. There's the link. There's the link. Thank you for sharing that, New Days. I'm glad to know somebody uses kitten. Her name's not a dude. Stray. That's saying a lot though, right there. You have to excel in what you love. You're here to excel in what you love. Okay, there you go. Stray Kitten, surely there's something you love, Stray Kitten. Think about it. But maybe you need there's a couple things, Stray Kitten, that might work for you. There's a couple things. One is the wolfing. There's another potential opportunity is sitting other old people. There's a lot of elderly people that the families do not want to go to nursing homes, because nursing homes are horrible and terrible. And so they pay people to go sit with mom or dad. And maybe you got to feed them, kind of look after the house a little bit. But a lot of these people just sit there to have a lot of spare time. I got some wolfers and tweeters and crossovers. Okay there, man. So that's another thing you might do, is start looking around to see where you could help and be a sitter for some of the elderly people that need some help. And it gives you a sense of purpose. You're helping somebody, and it's kind of a nurturing thing. And you used to make decent money. KW, Russian troops are on alert and moving toward the border in the Republic of what? No, is that Azerbaijani or what are you talking about here? What is that? All right. Lee, I don't know what you're talking about. What is that? AB, it's like a Khazaria almost. Khazaria is no longer a country. That's what Snow Raven, how you doing? Space Girl, it's difficult to accept God, new blessings if your hands are full of old ideas. So Russian troops are on the move right now. You know, we're Western Georgia. Okay. Oh, I got it. So having somebody sit with mom is $25 for 24/7. No, people pay more than that. And sometimes you got at least space to say while you're doing it. And sometimes people do it in shifts. Will you still need me when you still keep me? 64. Multi-fights going. Oh, wow. You got this live right now, Lee? Wow. Maybe we should start a whole video just for that. Yeah, I knew the Russians would be going somewhere, but that's the odd turn for them. That was not the one we expected. Oh, the Beatles. That's part of the Beatles song. Yeah. There you go. But are you 64? That was the song. All right, Lee, talk to us, Lee. Tell us what's cooking. See you. So you going over there? You gonna be live? You live on YouTube, Lee? I might go watch you there in a little bit. I was in that position 18 months ago. Okay. So sitting old people, even being a house sitter for people when people travel, they need somebody to watch their house. Like if I was to go somewhere, I'd be worried about people just breaking in my house, trying to steal stuff. Be nice to have a house sitter sometimes. Baby boomer here. Hey, Snowette, there's several of us in here that are baby boomers. we got a lot of booming going on here. County Pepper, USDC crypto dropped below radar or below $1. What? Russia is pissed. We know that's true. I've been expecting them to move somewhere. That's an interesting move. My mom won't know. About 10. So you're going on about 10 minutes. Lisa, how you doing, Lisa? I got friends in low places. There you go. I got friends in lowly places. Yeah. Let's see, 10-4 KLW. We may start a new video for that because that deserves a whole new topic. And I want to, what was I logging on here for? What was I looking for? From the direction of Fort Bliss toward the border, unsure of origin and final. Oh, what's happening? Spotted a mobile bridging system. Headed to Santa Teresa, port of entry. What? Guys, another thing, what I meant to also say was these sleeper cells probably include the drug gangs that the Chinese have been arming up. And I expect they might roll into this country like an army. That's what I'm really expecting when it's grab. We're going to get an invasion of the drug gangs. Born in the 60s. Yeah, I was born at the very inception of the 60s. Swivelhead News. You think I should do on Swivelhead News? Okay, there you go. That's what we'll do. We're going to go live on Swivelhead News, and we're going to tag into Lee. Lee, I can send you an invite, but we got to work this audio stuff out. People were not happy with us on audio last time. So I think in advance, if you're still with us, is what we had worked out before. You mute me on your system. I think that's how it works best. Yeah, New Days. Yeah, New Days and I were born very close to each other on the calendar. Extremely close. From the direction of Bliss toward the border. Oh, we may be getting ready to invade Mexico. You know, someone in Congress wanting us to attack Mexico's drug gangs. So there's a portable bridge going from Fort Bliss toward the Rio Grande, it sounds like. Right now, according to Doug Thompson. He's been in our chat room lots of times. He's been interviewed on my channel. So, all right, that's what we're going to do. We're going to end this video, guys. I'm going to start another one. If Lee's still with us, I'll send him a meeting invite, and maybe we can figure it out. Stalin was from Georgia. I have been to the door of Stalin's apartment. Stalin lived in the Sovietsky Hotel in Moscow. I've been to the door of his apartment, and he was one scary dude. Evil. Made Hitler look like a Sunday school teacher. An evil, evil man. Sovietsky Hotel, it's like an old lady, very elegant. It's a beautiful hotel. Had a lot of American stars went through there, and up there, there's all kind of pictures of people that went through that place on the walls. But it's run down now. It's an old, elegant, run down hotel. It's still big. It's got a majesty to it, but Stalin lived there. That's the scary part. Granddaddy's daddy was fighting in Mexico. Okay, well, we might be into it again. Mexico may be invading the U.S. Well, that's what I'm predicting grid down, unless we neutralize some of those gangs. It wouldn't be the nation of Mexico, it'd be the darn drug gangs that are sponsored by China. 60s girl and strong. There you go, Snow Raven. 60s were cool. Far out, groovy man. Groovy man. Oh yeah. Granny of 60. A whole bunch of us in this time frame. All right, guys. Let's end this video real quick so I can get in here and join with this. See what's going on with Lee. Guys, pray for Stray Kitten tonight. Everybody, before you go to bed tonight, pray for Stray Kitten. Pray for Granny Lana's granddaughter, Kaylee, and for Granny Lana. Pray for New Day's old way. She's got a procedure coming up. Yeah, I talked about the Silicon Valley Bank in the very inception of this video. That's the first thing I already talked about. I've got nug feed with tacos on the side. Yeah, feed your nugs. Have you hugged your nug today? Happiness is a warm nug. The nugs have to be well fed, so you have to keep a lot of kibbles for your nugs. New way was groovy man. All right, man. Yeah, they say man all the time, right? Mini skirts. There you go. Go-go boots. Yeah. Remember old bell bottoms. Bell bottoms came in the bell bottoms came in the 60s when they went to flares in the 70s. Prayers. Yeah. Snow Raven. Love my go-go boots and mini skirts and fishnet stockings. Oh my goodness. I remember Goldie Hawn was on just a young thing on Rona Martin's Laugh In, I believe it was. Wasn't it Laugh In? That came on. Yeah, there you go, Laugh In, Sock It To Me. And she would dance in there, and she wore all that stuff, and she'd always write stuff on her belly. Sock It To Me. That's it. That's where we're going. Thank you there for sharing that. We're going to Swivelhead News, guys. That's where we're going next. Cha-Cha shared it. That's where we're headed. Born in 63, Space Girl, where you're a youngling. All right. We're going right now to Swivelhead News. Look at the link Cha-Cha shared, and I am going to sign out. Hot pants. Oh, yeah. So, everybody, thank y'all for being here. Pray for your friends and family. Pray for the people we're talking about here. Smothers Brothers. Yeah. Isn't that something? Anyway, y'all take care, guys. Take care. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Super Chatters. Thank you, mods. And thank you all for being here. The Rat Pack. Oh, yeah. That's a day.